Well, Janelle, welcome. Good to see you again.
Yeah, hey Rodney, how are you going?
Yes, I'm good, thank you. Now, I'm pleased to be able to take a few minutes just to have a chat and a catch up and maybe share it on our socials. Janelle is one of the inspirational connections I have in my journey in life. And we have a few similarities and sort of touch points that compare. And so, Janelle, why don't you tell us as we look into 2026, what's in the horizon and what's exciting?
Well, first of all, thanks for calling me an inspiration.
Absolutely. No
Secondly, I'm
doubt
right
about
back
it.
at you. Like it's been a joy over the last few years of like studying alongside you when we crossed paths at uni and also having the commonalities of trying to put out some good into the world. And we both have children's books and I have my memoir and it's just a really nice synergy between what we're doing and the
Yes,
end
absolutely.
result. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so with my children's book came out, it'll be 2 years ago this year. That's Roy's Journey to a Happy Home, where I placed a lot of emphasis on helping to bring to the surface any unsafe environments. Obviously, last year there was a huge inquiry done into the foster system in Australia and the foster care, and also in homes where children feel like they don't have a voice. Roy takes them on a journey to help them discover that and to know who is safe and how to talk to people. And it's available everywhere. So my publisher kindly put that up for me. It's
That's
a lot.
awesome.
Second book being having a publisher is so different to self-publishing my memoir.
And now you've got another project that I passionately watch from the sideline and support whenever I can in the school. So why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, that is my core passion project. It's my mission for everything that I do. Where Rise and Thrive Co is a non-for-profit charity that I founded 3 years ago. We go into high schools and deliver mental health supports to help youth aged 12 to 24, so in the school system. So we go right through from year 7 to year 12, helping to identify at-risk behaviours, working and addressing like anxiety, mental health concerns, and really helping equip the youth with tools they need to understand how to articulate themselves, how to break those cycles that aren't serving anything good for them anymore. Sometimes a lot of the patterns that we don't realize we have, and they're quite unhealthy from an intergenerational pattern cycle. So
Yeah.
it's really good to help shine a light on them to give them self permission that they can make change.
Yeah. And since we're talking about the youth, probably the subject matter that's most aired at the moment is the issue around social media and the change in the system. What's your take on that whole process?
I'm still undecided on if it's the right or wrong thing that they have done. I see the merit in what they were trying to achieve, but I don't feel enough safe parameters were put in place, as there was other platforms that increased by 300% within the first 24 hours of the ban coming in. I speak to so many youth all the time. I ran into like a group of 10 of them the other day. They're only 14 and they said that they had no problems. They weren't kicked off. I'm hearing
Oh,
more.
right.
I'm hearing more that have got around it, or if they were kicked off the first time, they go to hop back on and they have it again. So they're saying like it hasn't worked. That's coming from their mouths. There's been some also who said they feel it's a good thing because they feel like it's removed that temptation. They have fear they're going to get in trouble if they do it. So they've just disconnected. But it's been really challenging over school holidays.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. And so I wonder, are you aware of an uptake in sort of the reach out, so the lifelines of this world, or that sort of the youth channels where they can reach out and seek support now that they don't have that place to dialogue?
There,
Or
that sort of
yeah,
way,
or
like
just
youth
having
connection, or with support.
it's well, is it one and the same thing? So if I had a friend I could talk at night to, no, which I
Yeah.
now don't, am I
Well, they
now
all went
needing to
to
go to support?
WhatsApp. Didn't get in. Discord is another one. And there's a lot of shady characters on Discord as well, and that's all in
Yeah.
schools as well. A lot of gaming profiles, a lot of adults that can pose as underage as well. So, and there's no safety parameters really being put in place around that. Um, The Lemonade is another one that I hadn't heard of before, but just went gangbusters when the band came in. And they just, kids are smart, right? So they can get another VPN and work around it. They
Yeah,
can
that's right.
get other fake accounts. Like there's so many ways to do it. We can put these things in place and say this is the reason why. It's for your safety, it's for this, it's for that. But I do believe that it's the same as like e-bikes, that was this big craze and all the parents like, this is a great thing. Like schools, everyone's like, this is amazing. Like they can get
Yeah.
transport, they get independence, but then it sort of goes so far forward, it almost sends it backwards
Yeah.
because there's with that, it outgrew a human. It's like AI, right? It keeps growing ahead of us and it's pull a big handbrake on and bring people back when we've allowed them to go so far forward.
Yeah, I think that's probably, Janelle, that's probably my biggest takeaway when I reflected on that subject of the age band and even the e-bikes you talk about is this thing of maybe I wasn't qualified enough to pass that information on to my kids. Like if I like a mobile phone or a connection point is probably where our mate's going to work in the future. But I don't think I was training. I just, this thing's awesome. You should use this and handed it straight over without the sort of guidance and foresight and knowledge to go, it is awesome, but there is some better process to learn these skill sets. And that's probably my takeaway.
I
I think I've
agree.
got a responsibility. I think, and I think we all as adults have got some responsibility. I don't know if the big handbrake is more for us than for them. And that's just my perspective. It's not.
Yeah, no, completely makes sense though.
All right. And so if you look at 2026, what's the dream? What's the goal?
Oh, to get state funding to be able to get into all schools in Queensland and to get Australia's first outreach youth mental health truck on the road. So it's never been done before, and we are fundraising like crazy. So that having that truck allows us to put wheels in motion and head out to regional rural communities where we've got such shortages of mental health support, wait lists up to 8 months,
Yeah.
and just the financial barrier. Like we're living in a really pressed climate financially, and there's a lot of stress. Even I believe we're still seeing the end of the COVID, the rules and the regulations and the restrictions and what's still coming undone from all of that. And
Yeah.
sometimes that takes a generation or more to heal
Yeah.
through. And we've seen now a rise in kids who are finishing high school last year and this year who experienced year 7 in lockdown.
So they'll be hitting the marketplace now.
Yeah. So now so they were given more devices and everything was in their hand because it was a way we stayed connected. And now that they're getting it taken away, even though they're a bit older, it's just like they've gone through this whole up and down of what goes on with social media, with connection, what's safe, what's unsafe. And it's really challenging time. So by having the outreach service, we can go where we're needed and
Yeah.
help remove those barriers and those restrictions.
So you talk about a bus. Tell me about the
It's a
bus?
truck,
The truck,
actually.
sorry.
It's
Truck.
a truck, and I don't have an image right now, but I will send one through to you so you can add it to this.
So you're
Um,
getting a truck license. I got a truck license, so I feel you should have a truck
yeah,
license
so I
too.
need a driver, Rodney, or come along.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
but that's an exciting
Sign me
adventure as
up.
well. I'll need to get my truck license. So if you think of, the breast screening Queensland, like that
Yeah.
size trucks, like an Isuzu truck is what we're chasing,
Yeah.
or like Healthy Harold for primary schools. So it is our mobile office on wheels. So we can have like social liaison officers come through to help explain what does Centrelink do, how can you get government support, what does Medicare look like,
Yeah.
how, because all these things like adolescents don't understand, but some of them are thrown into this big world. Some parents don't understand the whole system, the ins and outs. Going to get psychologists, counselors, run our programs, have sporting events, because obviously basketball is very close to my heart, and just really, really immerse ourselves in community.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, yeah, I think that's my questions for you, Janelle. I might hand the mic over to you and you can fire away with some
Definitely
questions to
will.
me.
Well, as we touched on before, you're an author as well, but you've done a few more books than me. So I'd love to actually hear more about your series, what it is, and
And
yeah.
right. Yeah, so I've got Jasper and his powerful friend, which I show you. So that's Jasper and his powerful friend. Now, Jasper and his powerful friend is aimed at the sort of toddler age, and it's the whole idea is to introduce the big emotion conversation. So to recognize big emotions, not as good as or bad, but just as an indicator, something that says, yeah, something that's important to me. So I'm getting really angry. Why am I getting really angry? Oh, because this toy is important to me. Is it really important to me? Well, I don't know because that's all I know is I've got it or I haven't got it. And then starting that conversation. And so Jasper goes through these discoveries and he has some of these tantrums and he's got his friend Alex that is an emu that travels with him and then there's the wise koala that sort of poses these questions in the background. And yeah, so that's a series of 25 books, one of which is available. And then from that series, I started writing a more junior series called Troy and His Truth Triggers, which is this one over here. These are all available on Amazon. And yeah, so that was really just the same data, but just upscaled to a different age bracket. Yes.
But that's amazing though. You're like hitting those two really young, important ages. And like a lot of people have said to me, why don't I go into work with youth? There's so much red tape and so much like enabling and stuff when we do this. So I think with your books, it's helping them to understand their emotions, the big emotions, small emotions, and also adults to understand, like we're seeing a
Yeah.
huge increase of children being diagnosed or being on NDIS and things like that. If these books can be utilized as a tool for self-discovery and communication, I think that's brilliant, Rodney.
Yeah, that's probably my biggest, or one of my most exciting conversations around the books was a grandmother who read Troy and His Truth Triggers and then spoke to me and said, I didn't know I had all these tools available to me, like mind maps and emotional drawings. And so Troy kind of unpacks each one of these psychological tools in like a
Yeah.
fun kind of way. And she went, oh, I can do that. And she made notes. So whilst she was reading the book to sort of get an idea of what it was for her grandchild, she ended up going, oh, never mind. I just wanted the tools. So yes, it is interesting that, and even the toddler books, because you're reading it to your toddler,
Hmm.
so there's enough meat in there for you to go, I'm not sure I do that so well. So
Yep.
that plants the
All
seed
amazing.
and then you start the conversation. So yeah,
Hmm.
I'm excited about it at least. Mm.
And what else is happening for you? You've got your books.
Well, as you know, I do thoughts for the day on LinkedIn, and that's sort of getting a life of its own in some ways. And it's a really interesting way of sort of just planting a seed and going, have you considered this idea? Or have you looked at stress in a different light? Or have you looked at anger in a different way? And anyway, from these sort of thoughts for the day, a couple of longer conversations emerged. And so I started putting more meat into some of them. And so actually this Friday will be the first podcast version of Thought for the Day, which will come out once a week. And it's based on the thoughts for the day, but it's kind of beefed out. So we've taken that thoughts for the day and then beefed it out. And then we've also wrapped it up in music. So even our books, we've created music around our books because we
Mhm.
feel like music sort of beds the idea. It's very clinical when I give you the theory, but when you've got like a tune and a bit of a dance behind it, it goes, oh, that actually makes sense. So we've taken these thoughts for the days, and then we've developed music that matches the theme of that thought for the day, and then we've bundled it all together as a podcast. So that starts at the end of in or starts at the end of this week actually. So I'm pretty
That's
excited.
exciting. And we also both graduate
And
from.
we graduate.
We've done a double degree this year. Can you believe that?
Yes, it feels
Like
like a
that's
lifetime.
that's to be celebrated, Rodney. Like, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I was talking to somebody on my LinkedIn connections, and they said they feel like they've. What was he saying? Feels like he's been doing something forever. I said, I feel like I've been studying forever. That's my thing that I've been doing forever.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, it's both good and bad. I said, being a forever learner, but I'm happy to
Yeah.
draw a line under this particular process, as are
Absolutely.
you, I'm sure.
Yes,
It does
I
mean we
am.
won't bump into each other as often, but that's okay.
No, no.
We'll
But
we'll have to do more of
been
these.
a journey and it's been, yeah, It's been really nice actually sharing that and connecting that with yourself. Like we just don't know, and we start every trimester, and you see who's in your
Yeah,
classes. I'm like,
that's right.
oh, Rodney's in my class again. Or, oh no, I might not see you for a whole trimester.
That's true. Yes,
And
that's true.
yeah.
Yeah, it's been good. Well, very good. As we sort of head our ways into 2026, what's your final takeaway or final thought you want to leave with our listeners today?
Don't feed the limitations of your negative thought patterns. Learn
Awesome.
to lean into self-trust.
I love that. That's brilliant. Yes, I think for me, picture for the month or when I started this year was the drop in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
We can scoff that drop, but it makes a ripple.
It
So
sure
just enjoy
does.
it. For what it's worth, I'm putting my drop in the ocean and I'm going to celebrate the drop and see where it goes. That's my thought into
Oh,
2026.
wonderful. I love that.
Lovely. Well, we'll keep you posted and we'll keep everyone posted as your truck arrives and maybe I
Yo,
get a
you'll hear me
ride.
beep beep. Rodney, quick, get in the driver's seat.
Truck arrives and all the best with the funding and all that goes with that. Now, if anybody wants to reach you, Janelle, where do they do that?
They can head over to our website at www.riseandthriveco.org.au, and all the links are there to our social media pages as well as to reaching out,
Yeah, I think I have a
seeing
few
what we're all
Susie
about.
people on my LinkedIn, so shout out to
Thank
these
you.
Susie people.
Yeah, and I'll
And
send through some images of the truck as well, so people can actually. Sometimes you have to see the concept to get behind the concept. So
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
yeah,
Yes, and if you want to get hold of me, I'm on LinkedIn or the socials is probably the best place to get hold of me.
yeah,
Very good. Well,
definitely,
thank you for your time, Janelle, and we'll see you in the swings and roundabouts.
definitely. Bye.
Ciao.